Good evening. Welcome in daily Upsc editorial audio program. Wheels within Wheels, the Times of India. 16th FinCom on a devolutionary road, the Economic Times. Raj Bhavan needs radical reforms, the Hindu. Now the full editorials. Wheels within Wheels, the Times of India. Harsh laws needed for road accidents, but what truckers and everyone need are better designed roads. Truckers steering Chodo Andolan, parking their trucks to clog highway and choke supply did not suddenly erupt flash mob style. It followed a letter written end December to Government of India by All India Motor Transport Congress AIMTC requesting a review of the maximum 10-year jail term and 7 lakh fine for hit and run accident in India's new penal code BNS, but AIMTC's appeal to truckers to be patient clearly fell on deaf ears. Following talks with Government of India yesterday, the strike was called off with Government of India assuring that stakeholder consultations will be held before the new law kicks in. Truckers Point, the nodal body, and truckers had feared that in hit and run cases, especially on highways, police seldom investigate, simply blame truck drivers. There is no SOP on how to prove such cases. There is the additional fear of mob attacks by enraged local on truckers who would pause to report an accident. To this, government said the law in no way suggests that the call to report an accident must be made from the site. The association believes the 10-year jail term will act as a deterrent to men joining the grueling transportation sector, which already suffers a 27% hostage of drivers. The lifeline of India's supply chain stood disrupted. Hopefully, starting today, supply of fuel and the fuel and other essential commodities will resume. But what is the law to blame? Truckers have their point, but blaming the law is hardly the solution to their woes. A stringent law is required. India leads the world in road deaths. In 2022, almost 59,000 people died in hit and run cases. About 30% of all road fatalities. A person died in a highway accident every hour in Maharashtra in 2022, up 14% from the previous year. Indians can be callous drivers with little care of rules and regulations, missing the full picture. Truckers fear false prosecution. Policing quality has indeed slipped countrywide. Further, several serious factors cause accidents and highways. Minister Nitin Gadkari captured it in his 2020 interview to Times of India. Main reasons for accidents and road fatalities are faulty road engineering, defective detailed project report, bad designing of junctions, inadequate signage and road marking. There is the crux. So harsh penalties alone are unlikely to make roads safer. Truckers demand for softening the law is less important than getting roads and highways right. 16th FinCom on a devolutionary road, the Economic Times. The 16th Finance Commission, headed by Arvind Pangadia, has, in a departure from recent history, not been issued any specific task, leaving it free to determine the scope of its recommendations. This gives the Commission more elbow room to go about strengthening fiscal federalism on paper. Its job is to ensure balance in resource transfers between the center and states and among states, but the task is nuanced. States grudgingly relinquish their resource rising capacity and resent any loss of agency over expenditure. The center, on its part, would like to see the larger devolution to states put to responsible use and tries to nudge states towards fiscal responsibility. States also need to be convinced that the formula for dividing resource does not disintensifies out performance and delivers on curbing unwarranted in migration. The 16th Finance Commission has the freedom to choose its population data, but it will not have the 2021 census data to go by. Population is a key determinant of how much a state receives as its share of a divisible pool of government resources. States that have stabilized their population growth and hereby bumped up their per capita income would have gone further down the path between 2011 and 2021 without the 2021 data. However, there would have to be approximation of the performance of lagging states. The extent of migration over a decade would also involve an element of uncertainty. This makes assessment of social sector spending outcomes more difficult than it should be. The center now draws less from the combined resource pooled than the states, but is directing spending through capex and warfare payments. As the gap widens, states would need more unencumbered finance for their larger responsibility. The center is trying moral policing to drive fiscal prudence, but is not in a position to lead by example. This will be a subtext for further devolution. Raj Bhavan needs radical reform. The Hindu. It is time to think about the behavior of governors in opposition ruled states and to understand the legal consequence of such aberrations. Kaleshwaram Raj is a lawyer at the Supreme Court of India. The governor of Kerala has been in the news for the wrong reasons. During his recent visit to the Calicut University campus, he instructed the police to remove posters put up against him. He termed the activists of the Students Federation of India criminals and accused the chief minister for sponsoring them. After his After his visit in a clear breach of protocol, he toured Kozhikode without any previous announcement. As such episodes are becoming more common, it is time to think about the behavior of governors in opposition rule state and to understand the legal consequences of such aberrations. The constitution cannot be expected to deal with the individual behavior of public functionaries. It only talks about the functions, powers, and duties of the governor. However, the notion of constitutional morality should govern governors in their public conduct. In NCT of Delhi versus Union of India 2018, a constitution bench of the Supreme Court emphasized the need to identify the moral value of the constitution based on a notion of constitutional culture. It said that the constitutional morality places responsibilities and duties on individuals who occupy constitutional institutions and offices. Even while acting as chancellor, Mr. Khan continues to be governor. Whether his conduct reflects constitutional morality is an open question. Limits to immunity. Article 361 of the Constitution provides only a limited and conditional immunity for the governors. It says that governors shall not be answerable to any court for the exercise and performance of the powers and duties of their office or for any act done or purported to be done by them in their official capacity. This does not mean that governors are not liable for their misbehavior unconnected with their official duty. In Rameshwar Prasad versus Union of India 2006, after finding that the governor abused power in recommending presidential rule in Bihar, the Supreme Court said that the motivated and whimsical conduct of the governor is amenable to judicial review. Yet the question of whether governors can claim immunity for extra constitutional gestures and utterances was not a matter in issue in Rameshwar Prasad. However, the court said that right persons should be chosen as governors for maintaining the sanctity of the post. Questions relating to this disparaging comments by public functionaries came up for consideration before the Supreme Court in Kaushal Kishore Balsi's state of Uttar Pradesh. The court said that the freedom of expression of public functionaries could not be curtailed other than by way of the reasonable restrictions as permitted by Article 19(2) of the Constitution. In the context of ministers, Justice B.V. Nagaratha said that if the statement by the public functionary is not consistent with the views of the views of the government, it is attributable to the minister personally and they can be proceeded against. While the majority opinion varied from Justice Nagaratna's view on the method of enforcement of fundamental rights against non-state actors, the personal liability of public functionaries on matters unconnected with their public duty was not a topic of disagreement. To illustrate if a crime is committed by the public functionary, it is no statutory or constitutional immunity for them. Offences such as defamation could be committed by a public functionary as well, when the act is unconnected with or is in apparent conflict with their official duty. Commission reports. The Sarkaria Commission reports 1988 lamented that sub-governors have failed to display the quality of impartiality and sagacity expected of them. It added that many governors looking forward to further office under the union or an active role in politics after their tenure came to regard themselves as agents of the union. Since then, the situation has only worsened. The Commission's recommendations that the governor should be a detached figure and not too intimately connected with the local politics of the states remains wishful thinking. The Justice M.M. Panchi Commission report 2010 said that to be able to discharge the constitutional obligations fairly and impartially, the governor should not be burdened with position and powers which are not envisaged by the Constitution. It said that statutory power. It said that conferring statutory power on governors by by posting them as chancellors of the universities will have the potential to expose Raj Bhavan to controversies or public criticism. In Kerala, the state assembly passed a bill to abolish the governor's chancellorship. The governor did not give assent to it and referred the bill along with others to the president. It happened that this happened after he sat on the bills for a long time and after the government moved the Supreme Court praying for uh, gubernatorial assent. It was in the context that he visited the university as chancellor as against the will of the assembly. This action lacked democratic legitimacy. Future regime at the center will have to consider amending Article 155 of the Constitution related to appointment of governors by ensuring consultations with the Chief Minister, as suggested by the Sarkaria report. An independent body for selecting the governors with a reasonably significant role for the Chief Justice of India also might improve the quality of the selection process. Also, there needs a legal prohibition against further rehabilitation of governors in any official capacity. Raj Bhavan requires systemic changes. Thank you.